Hi, I'm Nigel Eastman. I'm a freelance medical writer, and in this short film I'm going to show you a little bit about my job and how I came to be doing it. So, I'm a medical writer, but that doesn't just mean that I write medical stuff. I actually have an incredibly varied job. A job that has taken me to nearly every continent on Earth, a job in which I've met and worked with some of the leading scientists and physicians in the world, and a job that has given me my place among one of the most successful industries on the planet. Pharmaceuticals. This is an industry that I'm very excited and proud to work in, not only because of the fact I have the opportunity to work at the cutting edge of medical science, but also because of the sheer variety of work that I do. Sure, I spend a lot of time writing. I write newsletters, slide decks, websites and meeting reports. I also assist physicians with the preparation of manuscripts in a collaborative process that's a far cry from the so-called ghostwriting you may have read about in the press. I also facilitate client and physician meetings and deliver agency pitches, run congress symposia in far-flung corners of the world, and provide consultancy to improve drug marketing programs and plans for publishing clinical trials. Parts of the job are a challenge. Almost nothing that you write will survive physician or client review unchanged, and you have to develop a pretty thick skin for feedback and be able to learn from it. You have to work pretty long hours too, especially if, like me, you work as a self-employed consultant. In my situation, everything you produce has got to be near perfect, and that's why it's best for you to start your career in a medical communications agency. I spent 11 years working in agencies, starting out as a trainee writer and ending up running an editorial department and a print studio. During that time, I was involved in the design and delivery of dozens of communications programs supporting the marketing and launch of a huge range of pharmaceuticals in therapy areas as diverse as analgesia, pain control and cancer. I learned an awful lot about being efficient, accurate and adaptable in my work. I also enjoyed the creative element, and these are all skills that have ultimately made my own freelance business busy and successful. I really love my job. I couldn't imagine doing anything else apart from perhaps maybe being a rock star. When I was younger, I didn't even know this job existed. I only became aware of it through some slightly opaque adverts in the back of New Scientist during my postdoc and postgrad days. Back then I was a PhD pharmacologist working in an immunology lab, wondering about how to break out of the cyclical trap of ever shorter PhD contracts with no prospect of tenure really. I tried all sorts of crazy things, including applying to join the Royal Air Force. I eventually decided to talk to some recruiters who were involved with medical communications agencies. I was lucky enough to get a trainee job with one of the biggest and best independent agencies in the world that was located a few miles from me in Macclesfield. From that starting point, things progressed quite quickly for me. I think this progress was down to a few things. Firstly, just some basic brains, but also a creative spark, a willingness to learn, some attention to detail, and also I wasn't afraid of challenging situations. This was quite a departure from my academic days when I was the expert in my own tiny corner of mast cell biology and could work pretty much in isolation. If I had to say three things to someone contemplating the same move I made, I would ask you, can you deal with critical feedback and leave your ego behind? Do you like working with people from a range of educational and employment backgrounds? And do you thrive under a bit of pressure? And a fourth thing too, can you write? I mean, can you really write? If you can, then try your hand at some magazine submissions. I used to write articles for the climbing press, but you can also offer to assist your colleagues with their own writing, proofread articles that they're working on, and this will give you a feeling of the sort of attention to detail that you'll need as a medical writer. If you can answer yes to all of those questions, then there could be an excellent medical writer inside you. If you would like to learn more about the possibility of getting into medical writing, then whip out your smartphone and scan this code you can see on the screen. Or you can call me directly on the number shown. Whatever you decide to do, good luck.